Welcome to northern Italy. We start in Trento. This city belonged to Austria for a long time. That is why Italian and Austrian cultures mix here. This is the monument to the poet Dante, and next to it is a beautiful Baroque church. Let's look inside the courtyard of Palazzo Toon. A statue of the original owner greets us here. Trento has many hidden courtyards like this one. Now look at the main feature of Trento, Bellinzani Street. Look at the house walls. Artists painted them with frescoes in the 16th century. In the Middle Ages, this was like outdoor advertising for rich families. We are now at Cathedral Square, Piazza Duomo. There is a large fountain of Neptune in the center. These are the colorful Cazzufarella houses. Their walls were fully painted with frescoes in the 16th century, turning the facades into a real storybook of myths and morals for the city's guests. Next to the fountain stands the Grand Cathedral of St. Virgilius. Right here, inside the cathedral, the famous Council of Trent took place in the 16th century. For 18 years, church leaders met to save the Catholic Church from splitting apart. They banned the sale of sins for money, reformed the priesthood, and essentially gave birth to the grand Baroque style of art and architecture. Let's step inside. Workers built this cathedral over several centuries. It mixes strict Romanesque and Gothic styles. It is very quiet and cool here. Unique open staircases are carved right into the stone, visible through elegant arches. This is an extremely rare feature in medieval architecture. The stairs lead up to the bell towers. Look down at your feet. The square and the cathedral in Trento are paved with a unique pink stone called Rosso Ammonitico. It is 150 million years old. If you look closely, you can see real fossils in the tiles. These spiral shapes belong to ancient sea creatures called ammonites. They lived here back when the Alps were still the bottom of an ocean. We are walking down San Marco Street toward the main fortress. Look at this stunning neo-Gothic facade of the Church of Saints Peter and Paul. It takes us straight to Venice. Here is the majestic Buonconsiglio Castle, the residence of the city's rulers. Built over 500 years, it looks like an architectural puzzle. Strict medieval towers blend into a luxurious Renaissance palace. A very cozy green garden surrounds the castle. The 13th century church of San Marco was once the main hub for German travelers in the city. And just behind the walls lies the San Marco Garden. More than 450 years ago, this was a private monastic garden where monks grew medicinal herbs. Today, it is a cozy public park. Let's walk through the old streets and inner yards of Trento. The city sits among high mountains. You can see them from almost every street corner. Did you know that for centuries this castle was guarded by real bears? The bishops of Trento kept live bears right in the castle moat as a symbol of their power. The tradition only stopped when Napoleon's soldiers released the bears into the forests. Now let's head to Lake Garda, the largest lake in Italy. The road goes right through the cliffs, and the views are incredible. We are driving around the northern coast of Garda and passing through Torbolair. This place is the windsurfing capital of Europe, thanks to unique winds that change direction twice a day like clockwork. Every day, hundreds of colorful sails cover the water, turning the lake into a breathtaking view. In 1786, the great poet Johann Goethe visited Torbolair and called its views the most beautiful sight in the world. Inspired by the beauty of Lake Garda, he started writing his famous drama Iphigenia in Toweries right here. Also, in past centuries, Torbolair was a border post where local fishermen ran dangerous night races against customs officers, smuggling goods across the lake. We have arrived in Malcesine. The town sits between the water and the huge Mount Baldo. In the 15th century, the powerful Venetian Republic captured Malcesine. To rule this area, the Venetians appointed a special officer called the Captain of the Lake. This palace was his private home and headquarters. The captain controlled all trade on Lake Garda and made sure there were no pirates or smugglers on the water. Notice the battlements shaped like swallowtails. In the Middle Ages, this was the main political symbol of Italy. Only the supporters of the emperor, the Ghibellines, built these V-shaped crests to show their power. During battles, archers also used these split stones to hide from enemy arrows. We are walking to the castle through narrow stone streets and encounter a sign marked 590 AD. That is exactly when the Franks burned down the very first fortress on this spot. The main gem of the town is the ancient castle on the cliff. The Scaliger family were ruthless and very rich rulers of the nearby city of Verona. In the 13th century, they realized that Malcesine was a perfect strategic spot. They rebuilt the old ruined fortress, the one marked by the 590 AD sign, into an impregnable stone castle. It was they who built the tall 31-meter tower, the Burgfried. In September 1786, the great German poet Johann Goethe arrived in Malcesine incognito, using a false name. He walked up to the castle, sat on the steps, and eagerly began to draw its old walls. The local people had never seen a tourist before. They decided this strange foreigner was an Austrian spy sketching secret fortifications to prepare for war. Goethe was arrested and brought before the local judge. The poet had to give a long and eloquent speech to explain that he was just a traveler and an artist. In the end, they let him go. Today, the castle has a special room dedicated to Goethe, and you can even see his bronze bust there. The most beautiful way to travel around Garda is by ferry boat. We are leaving Malcesine. The Scaliger Castle and the huge Alps look magical from the water. There is a famous monster in Scotland's Loch Ness, but Lake Garda has its own. Its name is Beniarco. Local legends about a giant water serpent have been around since the Middle Ages. In the 2000s, the story continued when divers and fishermen reported seeing a strange creature over 5 meters long. They described it as a huge, prehistoric reptile. Since the lake is 350 meters deep, there are plenty of places for it to hide. Our boat is crossing to the other side. This is Limone sul Garda. The town looks like it is glued right to the steep cliffs. You might be surprised, but the name Limone has nothing to do with lemons. It actually comes from the Latin word limen, which means border. For centuries, the town stood on the boundary between different regions. In the 17th century, the people of Limone created a true farming miracle. They built huge stone greenhouses, called limoni, to grow exotic fruits right next to the Alps. The tall white pillars and stone walls protected the trees from cold winter winds. Lemons from these greenhouses were famous across Europe for their incredible quality, making the town the northernmost place in the world to grow citrus fruits on such a large scale. This is the Church of San Benedetto. Its snow-white bell tower rises high above all the roofs. The church itself was built in the 17th century, but its foundation rests on the ruins of an ancient 10th century chapel. We are walking along the boulevard of Limone. It is hard to believe, but before the 1930s, this promenade did not exist, and people could only reach the town by boat. In the 1970s, scientists discovered an amazing secret among the people of Limone. Because the town was isolated for centuries, the locals developed a unique gene. This gene is called apolipoprotein A1 Milano. It works like a super cleaner for blood vessels. It quickly removes bad fats and protects the heart from attacks. Thanks to this, Limone has an incredible number of people who live past 100 years old. Let's climb the beautiful stone stairs to the Church of San Rocco. The locals built Church of San Rocco in the 16th century to give thanks for surviving a terrible plague epidemic. During World War I, this tiny church was badly damaged by bombings but managed to survive. In 1957, workers accidentally found unique centuries-old frescoes hidden under the wall plaster. This viewpoint offers the best look at the town roofs and the blue lake. We end our trip with a walk down a colorful street between two stone walls. The streets themselves are so narrow that you can easily touch the walls on both sides with your hands. In past centuries, people built these stone pathways so close together to make sure there was always cooling shade during hot summer days. We say goodbye to Lake Garda and drive away into the mountains. Which place did you like best? Tell us in the comments. See you in the next video.